Welcome back to Movie Summary. Today we are diving into a film called We Have Always Lived in a Castle. The movie begins with a girl by the name of Maricat. She is 18 years old and lives with her sister Constance. Her family, the Blackwoods, always lived in this house. She tells us it's a good family and no one has done anything bad, but a change is coming. We then jump back to last Tuesday. Maricat is called downstairs by Constance. Uncle Julian is also there. He is the one looking over the house after what happened to Constance and Maricat's parents. Constance then sends Maricat to go buy something in town. She is very anxious as people in town hate their family. They believe Constance poisoned her father and other members. As Maricat does her errands, everyone gives her the dirty eye. She then grabs a coffee and Jim enters. He felt in love with Constance in the past. Jim tries to mock Maricat, who is silent. He reminds her most of the Blackwoods are gone anyway. He then puts his cigarette in her coffee. She runs away. On the way back, kids keep calling her witch. The next day arrives, Wednesday. They have new visitors. Both sisters are in panic. Constance opens and it's their mother's friend who likes to check on the two girls. Julian enters and let her know there is danger everywhere. He remembers the night that it happened. Constance and Maricat were the only one absent from the dinner. Lucille keeps asking questions and reveals Constance is the one who put the poison that got her parents. Feeling uncomfortable, Stella grabs Lucille and both leave immediately. The next day, the two sisters get an unexpected visit, Charles Blackwood, their cousin. Contrary to them, he don't live in isolation in this castle. As soon as Marica sees him, she runs away. She falls asleep in the woods. The next day, she comes back to a big hug of Constance. Charles then enters and Maricat, realizing he is staying with them, gets anxious again. Charles tries to make conversation but she is to herself. Inside, she realizes how his presence brought new energy to Constance and Julian. She vows to make him go away. That same night, Charles offers to help them, even going to the town to buy some groceries. Maricat doesn't like it and repeats to him she is the one taking care of that. The next day, Charles helps fixing things around the house, while Constance begins to wear jewelries for him. Charles then tries to help Maricat with gardening. He is shocked when he realizes she is putting her father's watch in the ground. He gets angry, telling everyone it's gold, they can make money from it, but the rest do not seem interested. Maricat had enough. Minutes later, she confronts Charles and asks him to go away. He gets disappointed, stating that he came to see family he hasn't seen in years and she is hostile. He adds, "Constance likes me, that's all that matters." Days go by, Charles and Constance get closer. Maricat thinks that she doesn't see what's going on. He sleeps in their late father's bed, wears his clothes, watch. This makes Constance more distant to Maricat, as if she is the one being different. The next day, Charles finds a box buried, another of Maricat weird rituals. He gets mad at Constance, telling this is money, this is outrageous. He calls her Maricat the crazy kid. Charles adds that they shouldn't keep that much money in the house and also have a phone. He is so surprised on how they are living. Minutes later, he goes to town and grabs a coffee. Maricat follows him and makes a scratch at his car. While drinking, people find out he is a Blackwood and talks bad to him. Once back home, Constance tells Maricat she shouldn't go to town anymore. She adds that they shouldn't live like this. Julian needs to go to the doctor and even consider Maricat find herself a boyfriend. Minutes later, Charles catches up to Maricat and tells her, "In a month from now, I wonder who will still be here, you or me." That same night, she is alone in the woods while Charles is having a little dance with Constance. The next day, Maricat gets to action. She dumps a bunch of leaves, flowers, dirt on Charles' bed, puts some water on it and breaks his mirror. He immediately confronts her. Charles is getting tired of her. Constance begs him to not get angry. Meanwhile, Julian, who has always seemed to be talking to his late brother, finally asks Charles when is he leaving. He responds that he is not leaving. Charles had enough and calls this house crazy. Everyone starts screaming and Maricat can't help it but run away in the woods where she feels at ease. When she gets to her tree, she finds all the stuff she buried outside. She then gets the vision of her late parents telling her she is their most beloved daughter. That evening, Maricat comes back to the house. She finds the rest of the family having dinner. Charles tells her they had enough of her and will have a long talk tonight. He asks her, "Why don't you like me?" He adds, "You never gave me a chance. I came to offer guidance and assistance, and I don't even get a thank you in return." Maricat then goes to Charles' room, puts his pipe in the bin and comes back to the dinner. She starts reciting one of her weird spell and Charles had enough. He grabs her out of the room and drags her upstairs. While Constance follows without knowing what to do, she watches him put his hands on her without a word. He then stops, realizing his room is on fire because of the pipe in the bin. Charles immediately drives away, while some people in town realize there is fire in the Blackwood house. Julian locks himself in his room and tries to put his papers away. At this moment, the fire trucks arrive, alerted by Charles. Some villagers also arrive while being happy watching the fire. The firemen end up being Jim and Bobby, who bullied them at the coffee but decide to go in to do their job as firemen. Constance and Maricat hides in the bathroom. Julian is still sitting in his room while surrounded by smoke. Outside, the villagers scream, "Let it burn." Kids are even throwing rocks at the windows. Moments later, the fire has been put out and the villagers are disappointed. Jim throws a rock at the house and all the villagers storm inside to steal everything. Constance and Maricat escape by the window, but some villagers catch them and start messing with them. One man finds Julian dead, goes outside and shoots his gun in the air. He screams at everyone, "That's enough," and all the villagers run away. As well as Constance and Maricat, who hide in the woods while Charles drive away. The next day, the two sisters come back to the house and realize the mess. Maricat tells her sister she will put poison in all of their foods. She reveals she is the one who did to their parents. Constance knew it and is thankful she spared her. At this moment, the kind man knocks on the door and let them know they are here for them. Minutes later, one of the villagers from yesterday comes back offering them some chicken and pie. He apologizes for yesterday. Hours go by and more villagers keep coming, leaving food to them. Charles then shows up. Maricat is having a weird reaction, and both sisters hide from him. Charles tries to convince Constance to run away with him. She hesitates. Charles then breaks inside and starts hugging her. She screams for help and Maricat finishes him. Both sisters then clean and put his car away. Later that day, Maricat sits down and starts writing. This is the scene from the beginning of the film. Constance tells her she loves her. Maricat smiles and the movie ends. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other movie summaries we have on our channel.